How does a professional in an active life facility take a vacation without worrying about losing all their income?
Part of what we do is every professional on the team has a salary. So there's a level of security that is provided that doesn't exist. I come from the CrossFit gym, and we ended up evolving to having salaries for the team. We, before that, never had it. So what that meant was if somebody took a vacation, they lost all the money for the week. They didn't have any income coming in.
Because all of their income was tied to work they were doing on the floor.
Yes.
When they were doing it, if they did it.
Correct. So what would happen in that scenario often is if somebody wanted to take a vacation, what they would need to do is they would need to front load and back load the weeks before.
I'm going to do 50 classes this week.
Yeah. I'm going to do all of it. I'm going to do all the sessions this week. I'm going to get the client who trains that 2 times a week to come in 4 times this week.
So you're basically just trying to make the money in 2 weeks in 1 week because you're going to be out the next week.
Yes.
That's a rough week.
Yeah. And then you go on the vacation and you spend the first 4 days just trying to recover from the week you had
decompressing.
Before. Yes.
Wow.
By the time you're ready to settle into that vacation, it's time to go back home.
Okay.
So what we have always done and what we started with very intentionally was having a salary that provided a level of security. And that salary for us at the facilities starts with 12 floor hours and their administrative time. So the administrative time is the checking in with clients outside of sessions. It's the programming time, which takes up the largest portion of that. It's the meeting time. They're compensated for the time that they're spending on the other stuff. That often in scenarios like this, in other facilities, nobody gets compensated for. Right? You might be charging $100 for a session that is 1 hour, but you're spending
I see
2 hours.
So a big part of their salary is the work that isn't necessarily tied to seeing a client, but preserves the structure of the business.
Yes. For them and for us. Like, none of these things work unless it's a win-win. Both parties should feel good about this. So what we've done is we've created a base salary that covers about 25 hours. 12 of those are their floor sessions. So they could be small group sessions, RSN sessions. They could be personal training, a mixture of the two. After that, depending on A, where the business is in its maturity and its revenue streams, and B, their experience in the business, and C, their level of education, they earn more both in their salary and in their per session after the base. So it is a salary plus model. They get their salary for those 25 hours, 12 of them being floor. The additional sessions they perform on top of that, they're paid a premium for. Somewhere between $70 and $88 a session.
Okay.
As the business continues to mature and we gain both in revenue, overall revenue, so total revenue, and then the percentage of that revenue which comes from the small group, they have the opportunity to earn more money. This ties the professionals to the health of the business. Because what happens sometimes in other facilities is they're like, okay, I'm just going to pay this professional, or I'm going to pay the coach or the trainer on a per session basis. And we're going to agree on what that is. And it's going to be tied to whatever, their experience, their education, but it's not tied to the metrics of the business. So what happens is they accomplish their prerequisites of needing and having the opportunity to earn more money, but the business isn't bringing in enough money to be able to pay them and keep some money in the business. So now we get upside down. Our operational costs might be a little higher than we want them to be, or even if those stay stable, the labor starts to flex up. We lose profitability, which is the owner's salary in a lot of cases. It's their compensation in a lot of cases. And it's also the thing that you can create the buffer down the road for down months. Every business has a cycle. If we agree that we've had the best 3 months ever, you've done all of the things, but we haven't hit these specific KPIs for the business, but I'm going to start paying you more money. What happens in 3 months if we have a down cycle? I've got to go to Larry and I've got to be like, I got to pay you less now because there just isn't money to have. So we need to, for us, tying it to the health of the business allows us to more fairly compensate the professionals in a consistent and a stable way.
Well, it sounds like both must win. And if they do, they'll win bigger than the way that most gyms or trainers are winning right now.
Yes. One of the things that we haven't rolled out yet, which we're going to start rolling out, so I'm putting cart before horse, but keep it a secret between us.
Okay.
Is the professionals are going to start earning a percentage of the profit.
Wow.
That's largely how I'm compensated. That's a part of how I'm compensated and how the operations lead in these facilities will be compensated. We're going to add that for the professionals as well.
What an incentive. So, and that's not coming from doing any extra work. That's the result of maintaining really good job month over month over month.
Yeah, nothing extra needs to be done. It's just doing what we say we do, which is providing a world-class service.
So everyone's full. Everyone's continuing to provide a world-class service. Assuming they're full, they have their salary. They have all of the extra earning on top of that because they're maintaining fullness. And then on top of that, their bonus to percentage from profit.
Their profit sharing, yes.
That's really, really cool.
The original question, and I think that we started this conversation with, if I remember correctly, was
what's the amount of money on an annual basis that someone like that could expect to earn from profit if everything is full?
It depends on what the profit percentage is that we're allocating to the professionals or to the team.
What's a range?
It could be a couple $1,000s.
Cool.
It could be more than that.
It's really cool.
It could be anywhere between $2,000 and $10,000 that are added on a yearly basis.
It's awesome. And that's from profit.
That's just for the profit share.
That's really cool.
I think so. We had started the conversation asking questions around, I got to take a vacation. What happens? So because we have a salary model, what that means is now if you want to take a vacation, you don't earn nothing for that week. You still earn your salary. You don't earn your premium for the sessions that you would deliver on top of that. But rather than seeing a 40% or a 25% decrease in your overall compensation for the month or front loading, back loading so that you can make up that money, you might see a 10%.
What a difference.
It's huge. Like, think about how you will be able to take that vacation and how you will be able to feel on that vacation. Kate just did this. She just spent a week in Ibiza. And we didn't talk the whole week. She didn't have work to do the whole week. She got her programming done for the Ascend clients, for the one-on-one clients before she left. It was a part of her allocated programming time. The professionals delivered the sessions while she was away. So the clients didn't stop, which is huge because often an additional thing that happens in the traditional model is if I go on vacation.
Yeah. You're telling your clients what to do the week you're away.
Yeah.
They're going to figure it out if they go at all.
Exactly. If they go at all. That's huge. They stop because you're going to be gone.
Hey, it's Dr. Sean here reminding you that if you are a coach who wants to fill the gap neglected by fitness and healthcare, and you want to make a career doing it, we might be able to help you. Head to the show notes. There's a link there. You're going to click that link to download the ALP curriculum. That's the stuff that we teach to coaches over the course of 13 months to turn them into world-class professionals who never have to worry about missing a paycheck again, doing work they love to do. Go ahead and check that out, and I'll see you on the other side. Let's get you back to the show.
Because we work as a team, and it is a business. It's not 4 separate businesses that exist inside the business, which is really all that personal training is in a lot of studios or a lot of businesses, is it's independent contractors that might be paid as employees. We have one business. So the health of the business also stays up because the clients are training as they should when they leave. We work as a team, so everyone develops comfortability and confidence in the other professionals who are there. And everyone gets to keep moving forward. The business moves forward, the professional moves forward, the client moves forward while the professional is on vacation. I don't see that happening in a lot of scenarios.
So the client has a week of seamless progress compared to when the person that would otherwise be leading them was there.
Mm-hmm.
The professional that's taking a vacation is maintaining 90% of what they would otherwise be earning instead of 50, 60, 70% of what they would already be earning.
Mm-hmm.
And the business continues to operate as it was.
Yes. The business might see a dip, but it's not more than 10%.
Right. It's commensurate to what the coach wouldn't be doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are some other key aspects of compensation that you think are important to point out? Because the ecosystem, the entire thing, the way that everything functions for the coach, the business, and the client to win here are really impressive. What are some other things that are important for you to point out?
Can you ask the question differently?
Yeah. So what are some other aspects of how compensation works so that a professional that's all in on a facility like this can start to plan for the life that they want and actually live it?
So there is a tiered structure to compensation. Like we had talked about, as the business grows, the business matures, as the professional puts time in the facility, they go through education, they earn more at different levels. So you would start off, I'll just give you the numbers for our facility. You will start off with a $4,000 base, which covers your 12 sessions plus your programming time. You get a $70 PT premium, 4 sessions. That's the base. And we cap our professionals at 27 floor hours a week to save them. Could you do 40 sessions a week and earn more money for that week? Yes, sure could. What's the next week, the week after, or 3 weeks down the road going to look like if you over invest in time in the facility and sessions in that 1 week?
Burnout.
Burnout for you. It's going to trickle into your clients. You're not going to, I've seen this enough times to know and say this statement with certainty. You're not going to deliver a world-class experience or session at the back end of that week or the next week if you're overextended in the week.
Sure.
So we're safeguarding their energy and their ability to deliver the world-class service. They graduate to level 2. For us, level 2 is that the business hits $55,000, which we're doing and we've hit. And 35% of that revenue comes from the Ascend, which is the small group, because that's the profitability of the business is tied to Ascend. It's the way the business scales, because we have such high overhead on one-on-one sessions, including the payout to the professional. For us to grow and be able to compensate more, we have to help clients move through our process. And it's not pushing clients through the process. It's helping them graduate. That's the reason that we created the process that we have. It's so that they can become independent. If they want to stay working with a trainer or a professional, they can. And they shouldn't have to.
So the whole thing is engineered so that the business is most profitable when clients are most autonomous.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And when they get to the end, I had this question come up. What percentage of people get to the freedom phase? They get through the journey and they want to stay with you. Right now, because we've had so few people get to that phase, even in the last 2 years, because you got to think about the problem stack of the individual who's coming with us. It takes us 18 months, 24 months to be able to solve the first concern. They are making the decision right now at a 6 out of 10 to stay because they value.
So in other words, they have no problem anymore.
They don't have the original problem or the original stack of goals. We've solved that. They don't have the original limitation that they came with. The shoulder feels better. They're doing all the things that they want to do.
Right. So they're out of the back pain. They have the knee that allows them to all the surfing that they want. What they came to you with has long since been solved.
Yes.
Okay.
They're making the decision that they want to stay because they either want to maintain the progress that they have made And they could do it, but they value
They want to be coached.
yes, they value the coaching, the program, all of the things. They value the experience. Or they get to that point and they're like, you know what, I want to go do this now. And I want your help to do that.
So in other words, there's a goal after the goal, and they want the guidance to hit it.
Yes.
That seems high. Seems like a high number.
It is. And we didn't build the process with that in mind for accuracy. We built it that, hey, when we're done, we're done. We're going to shake hands, high five, and we're going to wish
was
you the
agreed
best of
upon.
luck. It is.
We're going to be able to say goodbye. There's an end to this.
So what I tell clients is if you want to stay when you're done, you're more than welcome to. We're not going to kick you out, but you shouldn't need to stay.
We're also not going to try to get you to stay if you shouldn't.
Exactly.
Right.
100%. So they're going to increase with that profitability. They're going to increase that level 2. That's going to increase the base salary to $4,250 for the same amount of hours. And they're now going to get $79 a one-on-one session. The next threshold is $65,000, and 45% of that is coming from Ascend. That is our level 4, where they're making $5,000 as a base salary for the same amount of work, the 12 hours and 13, so 25 hours is their base. And they're making $88 per session. That's their PT premium. When we talk about our professionals making 6 figures, it is at that threshold. You could start to see a little bit of that at the level 3. You're going to fully express that at level 4. And by the way, again, this is working 27 floor hours. It's not 6 figures for 60 hours a week.
Right.
That's how we've designed the compensation structure. And by the way, when we talked about the original 6 figures, it was without the profit sharing included.
That's before profit share.
Correct. That is your salary and the sessions that you're delivering on the floor.
Okay. What else? Anything else feel important to share?
I don't like that question.
Okay. So I'll ask you a different one. So if a professional is in this environment, they are working a 38-hour work week, 27 of which is in front of people, the other 10 of which can be done flexibly wherever and however they want.
Yes.
After they matriculated through education, they're making six figures if they and the business are full, and then they're sharing in the profit of the business.
Yes.
Okay. And
they can take vacations.
I was just going to say, and they can take the vacations that they want. They just need to do their own math on what do I want to do?
Yeah. They're not consistently and always weighing I got this thing coming up that I want to fly back home for, but what do I do? Sam, as an example, takes over a week. So she takes about 10 days every Christmas where she goes back home. She's able to do that because she has the security of making money while she's away.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
That's helpful, Cody. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Active Life podcast. If you did, please head to wherever you listen and leave us that 5-star rating. It really does go a long way. 5 stars goes a long way. Please leave them. If you're interested in working with us as a coach, remember, we help coaches from around the world build fulfilling careers, working with clients they're inspired to help so they never have to worry about being able to pay your bills again. No one's ever going to ask you if you are going to get a real job when you work with Active Life. All you have to do, head into the show notes, click the link that you find there, download our curriculum. That will give you a feel for what it is going to take for you to be successful. A team member of ours will reach out to you to find out if it's a fit for us to work together. Till the next show, turn pro.